The biggest name.
You're locked into JJ and Alex. With the insight and analysis on the teams you can't live without. Presented by G2G Bars. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Alex Curie, Jeremiah Jensen, thanks for being with us on the program. Our show is always brought to you by G2G Bars. All natural ingredients and no preservatives make the G2G Bar the perfect protein bar. Give it a shot. Costco, Holiday Oil, Maverick, Associated Foods, many other places in the refrigerated section. Go check it out for yourself. It's that time of the show for us. It is a hockey night in Utah night right here on the KSL Sports Zone. Of course, the home, the radio home of your Utah Hockey Club right here. You want to keep it dialed all night long, and why not when the Utah Hockey Club are playing such good hockey right now? It's not just fun to watch them win, but these are exciting games. And I'll tell you one thing I've learned about the NHL this year, JJ, is home ice advantage hasn't necessarily been a thing.
No.
And tonight's
both of these teams show that.
No, and you know what? I mean, in this particular matchup with this team, the Hockey Club has beaten the Wild twice at their place this year, and then the Wild came here and beat Utah in a shootout.
Comeback,
And I think this is the last of the four games that they're going to be taking on each other as Central Division foes this year. Joining us right now on the program is Joe Smith. He covers the NHL and the Minnesota Wild for The Athletic. Joe, thanks for hanging out with us today, man.
Hey, no problem. A beautiful day in Salt Lake.
Hey,
sure.
I'm telling you.
You picked a good time to come.
Good one. Yeah, this has been fun. Hey, so look, this is the fourth and final matchup during the regular season for these two teams. And what has your impression of this Utah Hockey Club so far this year? That they've been feisty to say the least. They've had some head scratching losses. They've had some really, really nice games, and two of them have come there in Minnesota against this Wild team that's very, very good.
Well, when they're good, they make it really, really good. And like some teams, when they struggle, they can look pretty bad, right? So I think they're making a really good push right now for the playoff spot. You got some exciting young talent. I love Logan Cooley as a player since his days in Minnesota. When they play that fast-paced hockey and can get up and down there like that, I think it's really fun to watch. So, they were, remember back in Arizona, even like a year or so ago, like they were in a playoff hunt before the news about the change and uncertainty about what might happen with the franchise that really kind of took the wind out of their sails. So there's a talent on this team. It's just a matter of putting it all together and being consistent, which they haven't been enough this year.
What has it meant for the league to have that Arizona problem behind them? You covered, you watched Minnesota play Arizona 4 times a year. You knew what was going on down there. How good has this been for the league to have that problem go away and to have this replace it?
Yeah, not only for the problem to go away, because it's always the constant negative question, even though I think, guys love living in Arizona. I think there's certain parts of it that they really liked. It really felt like something had to happen, and not just to change it, but to get such a welcomed response, and the ownership has been like night and day in Utah, and the players I've talked to have been like incredibly impressed. The facility in Sandy coming up is going to look really good. They need a stability in their ownership and as a team for a long time, and now they finally have it, and it'll help them on the ice in years coming forward.
This Minnesota Wild team's really good this year, and they are doing exactly what I think that people had them down for at the front end of the year, which was definitely in that playoff hunt and definitely at the top of those standings in the Central Division, and they are one of those tough teams to beat. What's been so consistent about them this year? What's the Wild done to be able to get to the spot that they're at, winning the majority of their games and really dominating teams when they do it?
Well, I think what's been the most consistent thing has been their road performance. The best road team in the league has really made up for a simply mediocre team at home. They're 13-13-1 at home, which has been really rare for them. So the road record, they started with 7 road games in October and really took off from there. They've just really been banged up a lot. Kirill Kaprizov is out. Currently, he's missed a good chunk of the second half. He was a Hart Trophy front runner until he got hurt in December. The goaltending has been much better this year than last year with Fleury and Gustafsson, and that really makes a big difference for them. So, it's a lot of the same guys from last year. So not a lot of roster turnover, but some improved play by some of the players, and obviously the goaltending has made up for a lot of things as well.
Can you put your finger on why this team's so good on the road?
I wish I knew. I think the coaches wish they knew they could fix that at home, but I think they come with more of a simple mentality, like a certain commitment level in their mindset, playing on the road, knowing it'll be harder to win there. And I don't know if there's a way to explain it other than that, because a lot of the stats don't tell the full story on it. They have really good confidence playing away from home and had some really big wins, even including in Denver the last time that they were there. So, there's not really one stat that can explain it. It's more so that they just play a more collective team game. They play with a certain commitment level they need to win, and they don't have that juice at home for some reason, which is kind of surprising. It's a great atmosphere, Xcel Energy Center.
Matt Boldy's been a nice revelation for this team as well. What has he added? I mean, this guy's pretty young. He's in just his fourth NHL season, but he seems to have had a really good go this year with scoring 51 points, I think, so far in these 58 games. What's he done for this team right now, and what kind of energy does he bring to the ice?
Well, I mean, they needed him big time because Carrillo has been out. Him and Rossi play so well together, and I was really impressed with Boldy at the Four Nations tournament. He played up and down the lineup. He played in the third line at some time, and he really played a strong overall 200-foot game, and he was getting more physical, which I think you saw in that one as well. And we need to do that more often in Minnesota in the playoffs when they get there. So, but just great vision, really great hockey IQ. The stick handling and all that stuff is top notch, and I think he has a lot of the total package there. Where I know Bill Guerin has said he thinks he could be a 50-50 guy, 50 goals, 50 assists guy at some point in his career, and he has the skill set to do it.
Marc-Andre Fleury is a nice story at age 40 to be able to come on this team and give him a boost. I know he's only played in 20 games, but he's been pretty good in those games. 12-6 record, and 12-6-1, I should say, in net. What is his presence? How has he impacted this team?
Well, I think the word culture is thrown out a lot different ways, and it's hard to define and it's hard to quantify. But I think since he's come over in the last number of years, it really provides that, not just the positivity and the fun that he has all those pranks, but like just the work ethic. You watch this guy practice, it's like he's fighting to stay in the league as a 22-year-old, and here he is, a former top pick and future Hall of Famer and all the records, and he's out there grinding every day and enjoying it and having fun. And I think it really rubs off other guys, younger players. Who's better for like a young prospect like Jesper Wallstedt to have as a goalie than Marc-Andre Fleury as a mentor? So he has a I don't want anything to do after his career is over here, but I think any team would love to have him as part of the organization, whether it's helping goalies or just executive or whatever. He just helps, rubs off everything's so good around him, rubs off everybody else.
You look at the top of the Western Conference, and the Jets are far and away, points wise, especially. I mean, they're on this insane 11-game win streak as well. It's just crazy, but you've got the Jets and the Golden Knights and the Stars, and then the Wild are right there. And really, that Knights through the through the Oilers kind of have that. Everybody's right there in terms of points, and the Jets are just so much further in front of everybody. But the Stanley Cup playoffs are the equalizer, right? What is the Wild's chance to really make a push in the playoffs to be into that Stanley Cup Finals, maybe representing the West, or is it another couple of years away, do you think? I always feel like the Stanley Cup playoffs are just a coin toss almost because of how good the level of play is.
Well, I think the big thing is just getting out of the first round, right? I think it's happened once the last 10 years for the Minnesota Wild. So, that's something that's really on the forefront, just getting a playoff win first to get there, and then maybe you can roll from there, because you're right, any team can do some damage with a hot goaltender and a really, hot group. So I just think overall, like, I don't know if I would call them like cup contenders at this point. I think they're getting there. I think having the dead cap hits, the Parise and Suter's buyouts coming off the books mostly this summer, combined with the salary cap going up, will give Bill Guerin a lot of money to play with, aside from signing Kirill Kaprizov as they hope. So they have a lot of pieces, really good pieces here, just more so maybe enough to go on a little bit of a run and maybe win a round or two. But obviously there's so many good teams in the Western Conference and the East that I don't know if I'd call them a cup contender yet, but they're getting there.
People here in Utah love hockey. The game's starting to grow here, and it's going to grow exponentially with Utah Hockey Club and the NHL now here. But in Minnesota, hockey is a religion. We understand that and know that. But because of that, how much pressure is there on this organization and this team to win at a high level, because so many people in Minnesota are so passionate about the game?
Well, I can tell by my comment section and on stories, there are a lot of GMs in the state of Minnesota.
I bet.
How they're doing it. But I'll give the fan base credit in this way. They're incredibly patient, right? Like, it's been a long time since they won a playoff round. Obviously, they've been a long time since they've gone deep into playoffs, very rarely. And so they sell the building out every night for the most part. Such a passionate group of fans, and it just makes me feel like, and I covered Stanley Cups in Tampa and boat parades and all that stuff. I just can only imagine what it would be like if they went on an actual run and won a Stanley Cup or gotten close, because such love for the sport from the day they're born till the day they die. And so I think it'd be an incredible moment, or just the passion of the city to see it if they got through some playoff success, which they're hoping for.
Joe Smith, he covers the Minnesota Wild for The Athletic and covers the NHL overall as well. All right, what's this matchup tonight look like then? Utah Hockey Club and the Minnesota Wild over here at Delta Center on a beautiful day here in Salt Lake. These fans are pretty wild, and they love the vibe that's going on in this stadium right now. How does this one shake out? How does Minnesota get the win? How does Utah get a potential upset win over the Wild?
Well, I think, for Utah, it's kind of getting traffic in front of Fleury, and like Fleury's been playing really well as of late. He had that big win in Detroit last weekend. So just get some traffic in front and try to get the lead early and force Minnesota to try to come from behind and win that way. A big thing also is just slowing down the Boldy and Rossi line, because they're pretty. The depth up front isn't quite there with all the injuries to Joel Eriksson and Kirill Kaprizov, and Ryan Hartman still suspended. So if you kind of stop that Rossi-Boldy line, make the offense come from some other place, so they can find a way to win.
Joe Smith, he covers the Minnesota Wild and the NHL for The Athletic, and we appreciate you joining the program here. Enjoy your time in Salt Lake here and have fun at the arena tonight.
I appreciate it. Good talking to you guys. Take care.
There you go.
Thanks. Enjoy your time in Utah.
There you go.